My name's Heather Stout. I'm here in two capacities, one as a Idahoan and the other as one of the founding members of the Idaho Freedom to Read Alliance. The Idaho Freedom to Read Alliance champions the rights of all Idahoans of all ages to access diverse ideas and information without censorship. We advocate for intellectual freedom, support libraries and educational institutions, and empower individuals to explore, learn, and engage, on diverse perspectives. Through collaboration and advocacy, we work to protect the fundamental right to read for all. So, to our congressional delegation, I would very much like you to address the administration's denial and erasure of history and education by denying Smithsonian exhibits, denying funding to the Institute of Museum and Library Services, and the constant threat of book banning and the silence of our educational institutions. I urge each of you to protect our constitutionally protected First Amendment rights by resisting these changes. Thank you very much.
Actually, that's funny because I wanted to talk about farming as well, including tariffs. I'll come at it from a different angle. I grew up on a farm, family farm. I got family farms on many sides of my family, both my parents on my mom's side, my dad's side, and my late husband's extended family. I care about family farms. It's been an uphill climb for family farms for decades now. The chaotic tariff situation is only one aspect, and the previous gentleman has pretty much talked about that. The irresponsible way it's been done has been very damaging to farms, created chaos in our markets. Owner-operator farms, people who live on the ground they work, rather than investor-owned farms, are critical to national security and to our own ability to feed ourselves. I studied watershed hydrology and worked in ag research for my career, so I do know a few things about the science of farming. This hammering away against good weather and climate data is a problem, and it's a threat to our food security in the long run. Farmers need information. It needs to be good information. The tariffs has already trashed a lot of markets, and farmers are hurting. I listened to Senator Crapo talk about the good things in the budget or the big beautiful bill about estate tax reductions and how that benefits farmers. What I'd like to say is that's pretty minor concern when your farm's about to go bankrupt. It's kind of a very minor concern. Most owner-operator farms are trying to stay alive. Another thing that's not helping, not so much in Idaho, but in some of the more, where a lot of fresh food and vegetables are produced, and fruits, and I like my vegetables. These immigration and customs enforcement, or known as ICE raids, are creating pure chaos among farmers who have perishable crops that need to be picked within days. And the chaos created by our poor, crummy immigration system that should have been fixed by that bill that President Trump asked you folks not to pass because he wanted to run on the issue. It would have been a very helpful bill making sense of our immigration system, and I am upset about the nixing of that bill and these Gestapo raids. They're also trashing other small businesses, not just farmers. That's my point.
But I'd like to speak as a citizen and also an economist. more about the housing issue. So Senator Crapo has been involved in these forums involving housing issues. So this is something I'm very active in this area. I'm part of a group that's advocating for solutions to our housing issues, one of which is looking into the idea of establishing a housing authority to help get more housing built, very generally speaking. And this is generally what people want, right? Most people tend to agree that there is a housing affordability issue, that we have a lot of people that are experiencing this. But I'm concerned that a lot of what they're doing, and when I mentioned the idea of vague deregulation, is that it's just political platitudes, that they're not actually interested in the issues and the complexities that create them and potentially how to solve them. I'll give you an example. One thing that very much will continue to exacerbate the problem of housing affordability in our country are these ICE raids that everyone has already commented on. Who works on those crews? A lot of undocumented and adjacent, because they're reaching beyond just undocumented people with their efforts. So like I said, I'm looking for actual solutions, and I would argue that you're not going to get there just through deregulation, that the core of the problem is a lot more complex than that, one of which being the cost of just base construction, even before you start getting into the regulatory environment. We are in Idaho. It is not a very strict regulatory environment, and yet we still have these housing cost issues. So I'm looking for more beyond platitudes, other than we're going to get there via deregulation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I had a couple observations before I start my speech to them. You don't have to raise your hand, but I'm wondering how many people here are under 50 years of age. That to me says a lot about our current political situation. So many young people have basically withdrawn. We have to be able to engage them in conversation to get that back. We can't be doing this forever, right? There's a little thing called nature. Anyway, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about.
What is your name?
My name is Rick Towsley. I've lived in Idaho for most of 45 years. Came here in 1980, moved to Challis, Idaho. I thought it was heaven on earth. I love Challis, and lived throughout the state. I have a couple of things. The first one is to Representative Fulcher, and I'm asking you, sir, to please do your job. And one of the things about your job is that you engage with your constituents, and when you have an election that comes up, you engage with the people who are running against you. To not show them the respect to engage in that says that they are somehow beneath you. And there's no one within this state is beneath you, sir. Her name is Kaylee Peterson, by the way. If you're not willing to debate Kaylee, that says a lot more about you than it does about her. And I would offer to Senator Risch, who is one of the richest men in the Senate. He's a career politician. I kind of wonder how you got all that money being a career politician. Do your job. There's three legs to the stool of the American government, and we learned that. We all took government in high school. We didn't get as far as you in our knowledge. But we know that there's three to the stability of the country. And right now, the three of you are not providing the strength for your end to keep this society stable. Senator Crapo, I say pretty much the same to you. I will also offer, though, thank you from the bottom of my heart forever, as long as I breathe. Thank you for your efforts to preserve the White Cloud Mountains. Thank you.